The vastness of the Serengeti seems calm under the scorching sun, but don't be fooled by the serene appearance of these golden plains. What we are about to witness is one of nature's most brutal and thrilling events. Every year, 1.5 million wildebeest embark on an epic journey for survival. A journey where death lurks at every step, and only the strongest, fastest, and smartest have a chance to reach their destination. This is the Great Migration, a race of life and death. It all begins with an uncontrollable instinct, as if an invisible force were pushing them forward. At first, the atmosphere seems calm. The wildebeest graze in the Serengeti, enjoying the rains that bring green and abundant pastures. But this calm is just the prelude to an impending storm. As the rains fade, the land begins to dry. The vegetation disappears and hunger takes hold. They know they must move fast. At first, the movement seems like a mere casual drift. But as time goes on, the tension rises. 1 million wildebeest, along with thousands of zebras and gazelles, begin to cover miles in search of pasture. But this is no ordinary walk. It is a race against time. A race where failure means death by starvation, by predation, or by the treacherous waters ahead. As the wildebeest move, the air thickens with anticipation. They are not alone. In the shadows, the hunters of the savannah follow their every step. Lions, leopards, and hyenas. With their clumsy movements, wildebeest make perfect targets. A single distraction, a moment of weakness, a calf straying just too far from the group, and the attack begins. As darkness blankets the savannah, the roar of lions echoes. A group of lionesses, led by an experienced hunter, prepares an ambush. The wildebeest are on the move, but fear is palpable. At any moment, one of them could be taken down. There is no room for hesitation. The lionesses strike together. A surgical takedown. Screams echo across the plain. Blood stains the savannah floor. But the true horror is still to come. After weeks of journeying, the wildebeest reach the most feared barrier of all, the Mara River. Its dark, turbulent waters are the greatest test of the migration. Many will not survive this final trial. The river, with its swift current and slippery banks, is a deadly trap. But something even more sinister hides beneath the surface. Giant crocodiles, apex predators, patiently waiting for this moment. Now, they are ready for the feast. The first wave of wildebeest hesitates at the riverbank. What follows is a standoff of terror. They know they must cross, but they can feel the crocodile's presence in the water. Then, one brave individual takes the first step. It's the signal everyone was waiting for. A continuous stream of wildebeest begins to leap into the river, a true chaos of hooves and horns. The current is relentless, panic spreads, and then the water explodes. A massive jaw clamps down on a wildebeest's leg. The struggle is short and brutal. The river turns red as more crocodiles join the attack, dragging their prey into the depths. But even amid chaos, the wildebeest push on. They have no choice. Every second lost increases the risk of being caught. Some make it across, exhausted but alive. Others are swept away by the current or torn apart by predators. If the Mara River is the peak of danger, it is far from the only challenge. Land predators continue following the migration trail. Cheetahs wait for the wildebeest, weakened by the crossing. For predators, this is the perfect moment. The wildebeest are tired. Many are separated from larger herds, and the calves, young and fragile, are easy targets. Hyenas ever opportunistic, attack in packs. They are cruel and efficient, surrounding the wildebeest that can no longer continue. Cheetahs, with their explosive speed, chase down the youngest in frantic sprints, while lions, masters of ambush, wait in the shadows, ready to strike. What makes this battle even more painful is that despite the carnage, the wildebeest do not stop. They know survival depends on continuing the journey. To stop is to die, and so they press on, fighting exhaustion, fear, and instinct. But surprisingly, amid all this chaos and destruction, there is also life. The rainy season in the Serengeti brings with it the miracle of birth. 500,000 wildebeest calves are born, almost all at once. This phenomenon, known as birth synchronization, is not just a wonder of nature, it's a survival strategy. By being born in mass, calves increase their chances of survival. Predators simply can't hunt them all at once. However, the fight for life begins at birth. These newborns must stand up and run within minutes, or risk being left behind at the mercy of hungry predators. Wildebeest do more than feed predators during their journey. They are essential to the ecological balance of the African savannas. As they move in large numbers, they prune the vegetation, allowing new growth to flourish. Their hooves aerate the soil, promoting plant growth. It is a delicate dance where every step of a wildebeest helps shape the environment. Their role goes beyond mere survival. They help maintain the food chain, sustaining not just predators, but also the land and other herbivores that share their habitat. The survivors emerge, battered, breathless, but alive. They press on toward the Masai Mara. Here, in this northern sanctuary, they rest, feed, regain strength. But the rest is only temporary. These grasses lack the vital minerals needed to sustain life long-term. Phosphorus especially is in short supply. And so, when the southern rains begin once more, the wildebeest turn back, retracing their steps in a circle older than memory. Among the chaos, life persists. In the southern plains, synchronized calving begins. 500,000 wildebeest born within weeks of each other. It's a strategy of survival. Too many for predators to catch. A miracle of timing and instinct. But from the moment they're born, the calves must stand, run, and keep up. Fall behind, and they are lost. Predators wait for the weak. Cheetahs, swift and focused, explode from the grasslands in frenzied pursuit. Hyenas hunt in packs, cruel and efficient. Lions ambush from shade and dust. And yet, the wildebeest endure. In the savannah, there is no room for weakness. The great migration of the wildebeest is an epic testament to the struggle for survival. A journey where every kilometer is marked by death's shadow, be it in the claws of a predator or in the unforgiving waters of the Mara River. But it is also a powerful demonstration of resilience and the will to live. Year after year, these herbivores face the same challenges, the same dangers, and yet they press on. Every wildebeest that crosses the river, escapes a predator, or gives birth in the chaos, proves that in nature, life always finds a way to prevail. Even in the most extreme conditions, the cycle of life continues. And so, the story repeats itself. The Great Migration goes on, an unyielding march of life and death that defines the heart of the African savanna, a spectacle of pure survival. Not all wildebeest are migratory. Black wildebeest herds are often nomadic, or they may have a regular home range of just 1 square kilometer. Territorial bulls usually space themselves about 100 to 400 meters apart, though this distance depends heavily on the quality of the habitat. In rich environments, they may be as close as 9 meters, but in harsher conditions, they might be separated by as much as 1,600 meters. Female herds tend to occupy home ranges of around 250 acres. Meanwhile, bachelor males, those not defending territory, roam freely with no clear boundaries to their movement. Blue wildebeest, on the other hand, come in both migratory and sedentary populations. In the Ngorongoro region, most are sedentary. Here, males maintain territories year-round, though breeding still follows a seasonal rhythm. Females and young gather in small groups of about 10, or sometimes form larger herds. Non-territorial males group together as well, forming bachelor bands. In places like the Serengeti and Tarangire ecosystems, most blue wildebeest are migratory. Herds containing both males and females move regularly, yet even here, some resident populations remain. During the rut, males may claim temporary territories, holding them for a few hours or a day, just long enough to attract and mate with nearby females, before moving on to find another spot. In Kenya's Masai Mara Game Reserve, a once thriving non-migratory population of blue wildebeest has declined dramatically, from about 119,000 in 1977 to just 22,000 by 1997. The likely cause? Growing competition with livestock for grazing land, driven by changing agricultural practices and possibly irregular rainfall. Each year, some East African wildebeest embark on one of the most iconic long-distance migrations on Earth, timed closely to the rains and the flush of fresh grasses. But the timing of their movements varies greatly. In some years, they migrate months earlier or later than usual. At the end of the wet season, typically May or June, herds head toward dry season refuges in search of drinking water. Then, as the rains return, they race back to the green, renewed grasslands. Their migration is shaped by more than just water. Food availability, predator pressure, and the mineral content of the grasses all play a role. Phosphorus, vital to all life, and especially important for lactating females, is a major factor. During the rains, wildebeest often select grazing areas with the highest phosphorus levels. Nitrogen content in grasses may also influence their choices. Aerial surveys have uncovered an unexpected truth. A migratory herd's movement is more organized than it appears from the ground. A broad, wave-like front often leads the way, suggesting local decisions by individuals create an intelligent pattern across the group. Their journey is more than a migration. It is the engine of the savannah. As they move, they graze the land, stimulating fresh growth. Their hooves aerate the soil, allowing new life to take root. They feed not just predators, but the ecocide. It's a form of swarm intelligence. Though it may look chaotic, especially during dramatic river crossings, where crocodiles lurk and many wildebeest drown, the herd acts as a unified system. Together, they probe, adapt, and overcome the challenges of migration as one. Zebras and wildebeests coexist peacefully with each other as they journey through the African plains. The reason being, they have a great symbiotic relationship. Each of them has their own unique qualities that boost the survival chances of the herds in the wilderness. Though both are grazers feeding on the same plant, they live and migrate together without competition. This is mainly because they eat different parts of plants, with zebras preferring to feed on the longer and tougher or coarse grass, while leaving behind the shorter grass for the wildebeests. Also, zebras have great vision, which enables them to spot predators from afar, allowing the herd to avoid them. On the other hand, wildebeest have a great sense of smell that helps them to find water. It is estimated that more than 240,000 wildebeests and 40,000 zebras, gazelles, and impalas die each year during the migration cycle. The major causes of death include being killed by predators, fatigue, starvation, and drowning.